Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please, order of arms. Beautiful, Maria. Thank you. Our chaplain, Chester Maryland, will now give the invocation. Please uncover.
You might ask, what is a veteran? A veteran, whether active duty, retired, and active guard, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in their life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America up to and including their lives. Let us pray. Almighty God, Giver of all victories, we thank Thee for the opportunities which abide in our land, in their guidance in our hour of peril, and Thy tender love in times of need. Help us remember with reverence the valor and devotion of our departed comrades, not only those whose bodies consecrate our country's soil, but also those who sleep beyond the seas, and those whose resting place will not be known until that last day when the deep has given up their dead. O God, teach us to honor them by cherishing the ideals of which they fought. Keep us steadfast in the rights and liberties of law and order and true Americanism. Give us the power to see and the will to do the right. Grant that the American nation may preserve the high ideals for which our comrades died. May Thy merciful blessings rest upon those left behind. Keep forever firm in righteousness, humble of heart, and unselfish in purpose. May the souls of all who perish in the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Towers rest in peace. Amen.
Amen. Albert, you may be seated. Welcome to American Legion Post 372. I am Commander Air Force Ernie Roach. I am privileged to be a part of this inaugural journey for the Honor and Remember campaign across America. This past Saturday, we had the welcome home from Iraq barbecue for the soldiers from the 357th Chemical Group. I went through a range of emotions on that day. The roar of the motorcycles, the cheering, the applause made my flesh tingle with pride. We were all feeling the love. I was particularly proud, not only of the soldiers we were honoring, but of you the people, for coming together and recognizing the efforts of those who had placed themselves in harm's way. They all made it home this time. However, many do not make it home. A different scenario unfolds. The Rifle Squad's military salute to Conrad lost, a startling reminder of war, followed by mortal sound attacks. Our nation's symbol carefully folded in crease, every movement made with precision and attention to detail, the presentation and the words. By the authority granted to me by the government of the United States of America, and on behalf of a grateful nation, I present you with the flag of our country under which your loved ones so honorably serve. The flag is then placed in a safe place or mounted in a frame on a wall, and the years go by, the once precious treasure is passed on, handed down, and sadly the meaning and sacrifice which the flag symbolized no longer is relevant, just a flag. Hopefully, the honor and remember flag will serve as a lasting living symbol. The flag will be embroidered in detail and will preserve the memory of loved ones lost and the sacrifice they made. God bless you, and I wish you success in your campaign. I would now like to introduce Judy Tapper, Gold Star Member.
Welcome, and I thank you for attending this evening for a very special presentation of the Honor and Remember flag. George Lutz, Gold Star Dad, has just begun his lengthy tour across America. First he went to Dover Air Force Base was his first stop, then Annapolis, and now New Jersey for tonight, and tomorrow we will be in Trenton. Friday, he will be in New York to be on the Today Show. I thank his traveling assistant, Alex. His wife, Patty, will be joining him at a later date. This tour across America is for a very worthy cause. And I am sure after tonight, George will receive your support for Bill H.R. 1034, which congressionally recognizes the flag. Thank you, Maria and Dave, for the music tonight. Thank you, Post 372, for opening your doors to us and for all the help I received from Sue Quinn. What a blessing she is. Anything I would ask of her, the help was there. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you, Senator James Beach, retired Gunnery Sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps, Raymond McIntyre, Dr. John Rocco, Sarah Lipsett, and Jim Banner, Cherry Hill Council, for attending this evening. Thanks to all the motorcycle escorts from ACO to Cherry Hill, all of these organizations never fall short when it comes to these kind of events. You can always count on the Yellow Ribbon Club to be waiting for the grand arrival with the beautiful flag lines. Our local police officers and fire companies are always there to assist. Your continuous support is so much appreciated. I want to thank Mr. Zally for helping us with the refreshments from Zally's Shop right in Berlin, Gunny and McMullen's Bakery, the American Legion, and close friends. Now at this time, I would like to recognize all our Gold Star families who have lost loved ones from all wars. Please stand. Remember, this flag is a symbol of national gratitude for the hundreds of thousands of American men and women who bravely made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve the freedoms we enjoy today. An estimated 131.6 million throughout history. Please thank our Gold Star family. There can be no peace with the force of evil. Peace comes only through the establishment of the supremacy of the force of good. That way lies through sacrifice. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Thank you. I would like to start our program. Senator Jim Beach.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking Mr. Lutz for us that we must always honor and remember. Commander, I'd like to thank you and your post for everything you do for veterans. You certainly are a wonderful, wonderful representative for the veterans community here in Shaker. Thank you. Judy, met you several times, and Judy is always there representing the Gold Star families. And Judy, you are a wonderful spokesperson, and thank you so much for what you do. And on behalf of the entire New Jersey State Legislature, to the Gold Star families, we send our sincere best wishes, and we certainly honor and remember. I had breakfast this morning with Colonel Al Bancroft, and Colonel Bancroft had a family emergency, or certainly he would be here with us this evening, and he asked me if I could please extend his wishes to each and every one of you. Sue Quinn, I also have to give her a plug because this year, believe it or not, this year is the first year the New Jersey State Senate has actually had a standalone committee for military and veterans affairs. And I was honored by Senate President Sweeney when he called and said he would like me to chair that. And the very first thing that we did was accept approximately 100 dog tags from Vietnam. And Sue jumped right in and became a part of our committee. And Sue, thank you. You're always there. Appreciate it. Actually, when I came in this evening, I said to the commander, I said, "Steve, you're in charge of this post." And he said, "Yes." And then Sue came out of the back and he said, "She really is."
I take my orders too.
I was on the internet last night, and I was looking for something that might be appropriate this evening to read to you, and I found a little poem. And the poem goes like this. It is the soldier, not the president, who gives us democracy. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who gives us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who gives us freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, that allows protesters to burn the flag. To our men and women in uniform, past, present, and future, God bless you. Thank you. God bless America.
At this time, I'd like retired Gunnery Sergeant U.S. Marine Raymond McIntyre. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to you all. I'm Commandant McIntyre from the 1775 Detachment Marine Corps League out of Oakland, New Jersey. And as the Senator just stated about Colonel Bancroft, I had my notes to make sure everybody knew he would not be here tonight due to family emergency. Honor and remember, the land of the free because of the brave. What an impact these words have on all of us. The brave members of our armed forces, active duty and reserve, serving in Iraq and Afghanistan and other duty stations around the globe, have a mission, and in order to succeed, we have to support our troops and each other. Honor and remember, our troops have accepted their mission. It is being accomplished because of the support they have for each other. Their high-spirited duty for their country, too. However, some of our troops never make it home. They, too, are our heroes. We honor and remember them. This is a very patriotic and symbolic time of the year, with Armed Forces Day Independence Day on the horizon. We all have a mission to honor and remember our troops in harm's way. With all the support we can muster up, you show it by your attendance here tonight. Now, please let us all gathered here tonight support the families and friends of those who paid the supreme sacrifice for our country. Let us pause to honor and remember. Thank you.
Town council members Jim Banner and Sarah Brooks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for inviting us to join here this evening. And Mr. Lutz, thank you for bringing your story, the Honor and Remember Across America campaign, to Cherry Hill. Before I say anything else, I want to say that Mayor Platt and former Mayor John Rocco have asked me to relay their deepest apologies for their absence here this evening. They each had personal matters to attend to, and Councilman Bannon and I are here to wish you all well. Tonight, for the Honor and Remember campaign started by George Lutz, which was designated to honor and remember flag as an official symbol of those in our armed forces who have died in service to our country. Here in Cherry Hill, this cause especially is close to our hearts. Just this past January, one of our own, Marine Lance Corporal Jeremy Kane, was killed in action in Afghanistan. And in 2008, U.S. Army Captain Gregory Lesio, also a lifelong resident, was killed in Iraq while on his second tour of duty with the Army's 1st Armored Division. These are just two men among thousands killed since the start of the conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan, and among more than millions who have lost their lives over the course of our nation's history. There are many things we can do, and we have done, to honor these brave men and women. But this beautiful flag would be a fitting tribute to those, one, that could be flown throughout our country to serve as a daily reminder to those who have given their lives for our freedom and safety. This past Memorial Day, Melinda Kane, Jeremy's mother, presented Mayor Bernie Platt with his own Honor and Remember flag. It was a true honor to receive such a gift, and you should all know that it is flown outside Town Hall for several days after Memorial Day ceremony, and it's going to be permanently placed inside Town Hall to be displayed as a reminder of the sacrifices your daughters and sons have made for all of us. I know that many of you who are here tonight and are here because your loved one is among those who have died serving the United States of America. To all of you, I say thank you. You too have made an unimaginable sacrifice. And on behalf of the residents of Cherry Hill, I would like you to know we stand with you. In closing, to Mr. George Lutz, thank you for becoming a spokesman for this important campaign. My heart goes out to you and your family on the loss of your son, but I am also touched that this tremendous effort has been born of your personal tragedy. Please know that all of us at Town Hall can do everything we can to help and support your efforts. Also, Jim, the Town Hall has a proclamation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Banner, Councilman here at Cherry Hill. And I have the honor of being here this evening. I was also here on Saturday. And there isn't a time when I come to these events surrounding our veterans and those who fought for us in the time of war. It's just a moving tribute. And it's something that I'm proud to be called an American. And it's because of your efforts and your sons and daughters' efforts that we're here today. So on behalf of Mayor Platt, I'd like to present a proclamation to Mr. George Lutz. And if you would allow me the time to read this, it's a beautifully written proclamation. So this proclamation reads, whereas in the attention of the Mayor and Council of Cherry Hill Township to focus on attention on noteworthy occasions and individuals, and whereas today, members of our community, along New Jersey Gold Star mothers, and our local veterans organizations have gathered together an American Legion Post 372 in support of George Lutz and his Honor and Remember Across America campaign. And whereas the Honor and Remember campaign was started by Mr. Lutz in the wake of a personal tragedy, the death of his son George Anthony Tony Lutz II, who was killed by a sniper's bullet in Fallujah, Iraq in 2005. And whereas in the years since Tony's death, Mr. Lutz has turned his personal sorrow into a nationwide mission to formally adopt the Honor and Remember flag as a symbol of the tremendous sacrifices of Tony and all others who have given their lives in the service to our great nation. And whereas the Mayor and Council of Cherry Hill wish to thank Mr. Lutz for his work toward this cause and make it clear that we support the Honor and Remember campaign, and we will never forget the sacrifices made by our servicemen and women in Iraq and Afghanistan and throughout history. Now therefore, I, James Banner, Councilman of Cherry Hill, in honor of Bernard Platt, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Councilman of Cherry Hill Township, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim June 9th, 2010 as Honor and Remember Day in the Township of Cherry Hill, and do urge all citizens to join me and Council in joining the George Lutz Sr. and his mission by always honoring and remembering those who have died in military service to our country, as well as their loved ones, and who have made the unimaginable sacrifice in the name of the United States of America. Mr. Lutz, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to hear Dr. John Bosco. Dr. John Bosco. Is he here this evening? Okay. Sorry, Mr. Rogers, couldn't make it. Dave Dell. We have a special presentation of a song written by my son-in-law, David Dow.
First, I want to say thank you to the veterans. It's a privilege and an honor to serve you in this capacity. Before I share this song with you, a little surprise from my mother-in-law, I'm going to share a poem with you that I penned 5 years before I lost my brother-in-law, David, who was killed in action in Afghanistan, as many of you know. I'd like to share this poem with you. I never served in combat. I never even served in the armed forces, but in my small way, I just want to honor those through this poem and through this song. This poem was written after I viewed the movie Saving Private Ryan, which is probably the closest I ever came to combat. It's called Men Who Knew. Across the waves that swell and foam, intrepid men journey far from home, unsure of that which lies ahead, knowing only of battle dread. Men who love their home and land will give their all on foreign sand, denying self for love of right, willing to face death's dark night. I'll never fathom the crushing pain, blood and noise, exhausting drain, terror in the battlefield's hole, lifeless eyes piercing to the soul. I thought I knew their sacrifice, their gift of valor, their loss of life, their sense of duty while facing peril, their dance with fate amidst war's turmoil. It's not my place to claim to know. Gratitude and reverence I will show. For victory, freedom, and life ensues. Thank you to all the men who did.
songs, and we just love his music. And now I'd like to introduce you to our keynote speaker, George. It's your turn.
Can I take this off?
Yes, you can.
Do whatever you like.
Should pop right on.
I should tell you to ask our boss, too.
Where's Sue? I have to walk back and forth, and if I put the microphone down, they may not hear me. God bless you, New Jersey. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. There isn't a word for how I feel right now. I just need to thank you from the bottom of my heart. But, you know, it's not about me. It's not anything about me. And when I leave, I hope you forget my name. Because I'm just an empty vessel. I'm a dad, a regular guy, who 4.5 years ago heard a knock on the door that he never expected to hear. Because the day before, my son had been shot. And there aren't words for that either when you get that news. And I went through some incredible trauma, as these families have gone through. Unless you've been in that situation, you have no idea. You can think you understand, but you don't. And God bless you for trying, because it means so much. Because you do what you can. But when that knock on the door comes, and you're faced with those words, we regret to inform you, you go through a range of emotions. No way. It couldn't have happened. You must be at the wrong house. Maybe he's only hurt. Your mind's flooded with, what am I going to do now? Do I even want to live? All of those emotions, all of those thoughts go through your head. You begin to cling to memories around you that have to do with that loved one. I went after emails and letters and photographs, videotapes of when he was a boy. Anything I could, because I knew there were not going to be any more memories. The memories had ended. So I wanted to consume whatever I could find. And after you get to the end of that, because there's only so much that you can find, and even a scrap of paper with a grocery list on it in his handwriting is important to you. You begin to look outward at how others remember you, or remember your family, but remember your loss. And there are so many great things in this country that are being done. Bridges are being named after our heroes. Streets are being named after our heroes. Memorials are being built for our heroes. But what I realized was that the veterans and the friends and the families and the military, they do an awesome job of remembering. They know what sacrifice means to a family, and they know how to treat their brothers and their families. But I looked around, and I wanted to take this a step further, because all of the monuments that are built, if you go to Washington, we're not that far, and you see those wonderful monuments with names strewn over and over the granite of those monuments. What I realized was that those monuments were built by veterans, steam rolled through by veterans, and they're visited by veterans because they want to remember. But one of the things that concerned me was that that population that cares is a small population in this country, and that the general population has a very short memory. Many of you will remember 9/11 and all of the American flags that flew so proudly everywhere. 6 months later, 9 months later, 12 months later, those flags on those properties that you wouldn't have seen before 9/11 are gone. They're no longer there. We have short memories. And I guess I was a little bit selfish because I thought my son had died for this nation. He was young, strong, healthy, educated, yet he volunteered because he knew that this nation needed protectors. And many of you veterans out there, all of you veterans out there, served with that same sense of selflessness. So I thought, what is the nation doing? Not the brothers. What is the nation doing? And I want to search for that because, as I mentioned earlier, as a parent, I tried to consume everything I could that had anything to do with honoring him and remembering him. And the more I researched, the more I felt the burden of the loss of those that came after him. And I began to speak to other families because it was my way of healing. And let them know I was there and I understood and I was going through it. And the cry that I would hear over and over from wives, from mothers, from fathers, from sisters, from brothers, were two things. And I know you will relate to this. Please don't let this have been in vain. And please don't let them be forgotten. And I thought one step further. And I know this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm just a regular parent. And I began to think about how parents felt at this kind of loss. And I went back to Vietnam, to a war that was so unappreciated. The men and women were so unappreciated. And my heart broke to think of how those soldiers and Marines came back and were treated. And I thought of their parents, the parents of those that didn't come home. And how were they treated? And how were they looked upon? And did they have to hide the very fact that their loved ones gave their lives? And I went back further to the American Revolution, to the founding of this nation. And I thought to myself, okay, it's hard to think in terms of what others may have felt. But as a parent, try to put yourself in the situation where a parent sending their loved one out to war, not knowing if they would ever come back, or they would ever hear from them again. And my search for some way of public recognition ended at a dead end. I found nothing. Not that there weren't military symbols, but remember, this is for the public. We, as family members, you as veterans, as friends, we don't need to be reminded. We know every day that we've experienced loss. We don't need a flag to honor and remember. Memorial Day is every day for us. I saw the POW flag everywhere that I went. And what an honor, I thought. What an amazing tribute that this government had taken the time to establish a national symbol in honor of those that were captured and missing. I had an aha moment, and I thought, if they could do it, why not a flag for our fallen? Why not a flag for those that didn't come home? Why not a flag, a tangible emblem, that when people looked at it and saw it, what would come to mind was only sacrifice. The sacrifice of those that gave their lives throughout history, proving the fact that freedom is not free. And that is how the Honor and Remember flag was created. It was meant to be a symbol recognizing all lives lost in military service to our country. From the beginning of our country's history, killed while serving the line of duty. Now that does not mean KIA. It means killed while serving the line of duty, whether in training, on their way to training, on their way to battle, killed as a result of serving in Vietnam. Many, many, many lives have been lost through Agent Orange, other diseases. This flag honors those that served or died as a result of serving. The Honor and Remember flag symbolism. When I worked on the design, I wanted it to be not a memorial, but a celebration. I wanted it to be a thank you. I wanted it to be a symbol that spoke silently, louder than thunder. That when you saw it, you would know exactly what it meant. The red and the white field of this flag stands for the sacrifice of blood shed. What better color than red? This is our American flag, red. The white field stands for the purity of that sacrifice, because our men and women to a person were on a mission. And that mission carried with it the words to us, I'll be back. Don't worry. Pure hearts. And every one of them intended to be back. The blue star in the center of this field goes back to World War I, when a blue star banner was hung on military families' windows and doors, and that signified that they had someone in the fight. And those banners may have 1, 2, 3, or more solid blue stars. The gold star overlaying that blue star, we all know here, means a life lost. A gold star family, a gold star mother, a gold star wife, a gold star father. There are many in this country, millions in this country, who have no idea what a gold star family is. They think when I tell them that it's a premium club at Walmart. That is one of our missions, is to be sure that this nation understands what that symbolism means. The folded flag beneath the stars, everyone universally understands, means a life lost. A single life lost in this country. A single flag folded and handed to a family member. That is what this country was built on. One folded flag at a time. The flames above it, we hear it all the time, we will never forget. This will remind those that see the symbol that we will never forget. And the words, honor and remember. We will always honor their sacrifice and remember them specifically by name, because this is not about statistics. This is about individuals, men and women who had mothers and dads and children, went to high school, you guys played ball with them or sat at a meal together. Individual lives that should never be forgotten. Thanks, guys. But it's more than just a piece of cloth. We think, well, what does that mean, a piece of cloth? It's about touching those lives. It's about recognizing that sacrifice. It's about reaching out to the families. And one of our missions is to establish this as a national flag. but also to establish it as a city flag, or as a state flag, or a flag just to be flown in your yard, because you never know when a Gold Star family is driving down your street. And the statement that you make by hanging this flag and saying, without saying a word, I do remember, and I do care. And it is our goal that this flag flies across this nation continuously. But I wanted it to be personal. I wanted it to be specific. I wanted there to be recognition of that sacrifice on a little higher level. And so the design of this flag enabled it to be personalized. So you set that down. And it is our goal as an organization to not only have this flown in tribute generically to our sons and daughters, but for it to be personalized so that we actually do remember individually by name every life lost in this country. And one of our goals is to be sure, one way or another, that in ceremonies like this, we are able to publicly recognize those that have experienced that loss. And it's a big task. As you can imagine, there are tens and hundreds of thousands of families that have lost generations back. Generations back. You see that this flag has a name of a soldier who was killed in Korea in 1950. And this flag was prepared for his mother. Last year she was 99 years old. She's actually from Pennsylvania. And the week that I was having this flag prepared for her, she passed away. And I wasn't able to present it to her. But I show it to you tonight as an example of this flag reaching back to generations and touching lives of those that have not been remembered for years and years. And that is the heart of what we do. Because I believe when we touch the lives of individuals, one at a time, that is when this message and this vision will begin to spread and touch the lives of those around them. And I believe that our sense of patriotism will grow and grow as we begin to honor those that have given so much. Because let me tell you something very personal. At the end of the day, a flag means nothing. A plaque means nothing. A pin, jacket, a quilt. And I don't belittle those things. What I'm saying, I would trade it all for one more day with my son. And anything we can do to bring tribute to the loss of these families and their friends and the veterans that were beside them, we can't do enough. And I am honored, I am truly honored to be here and feel the embracing support of this group. I cannot tell you how touched I am. How touched I am. God bless you. You guys put that down. I have a quote that I often say comes from John F. Kennedy. And then I'll conclude with this. A nation reveals itself not only by the men that it produces, but by the men that it honors and the men that it remembers. I hope I get to shake your hand before you leave. God bless you all.
You may be seated. Waterford Township, which is ACO, Waterford Township. After the death of my son, we formed a committee, the Waterford Township War Memorial. We have 12 members. We're really strong. We've done a lot. And at this time, I'd like Paul, my vice president, to come forward.
Commander, on behalf of the Waterford Township War Memorial Committee, we would like to dedicate one of the flags that you already have permanently to the Legion.
Thank you very much.
Every soldier is just as important as the next. But at this time, I would like Tony Clark to come forward to talk about one of our special soldiers. Tony?
I had the pleasure of serving 5 times as mayor of Waterford Township, so while we're here in Cherry Hill, let me remind you that you originally were Delaware Township, but in 1844, Waterford Township gave the lands that formed Delaware Township. So we are family. Tonight, we want to honor and remember. I want to talk about a young man who, when you met him, you'd say, that's a nice young man. As he grew and was in scouting, whenever you saw him, he would just confirm your first impression. He was a young man with a dream. He had a dream which he shared with his friends, his family, and especially his cousin. After he graduated from high school in June of 2005, he focused on achieving his dream, becoming a United States Marine. In January of 2006, he and his cousin joined the Marine Corps and reported to the recruit depot at Parris Island, South Carolina for basic training. He then became a part of Delta Company and entered a school of infantry at Camp Geiger, where he graduated as an infantry assaultman. He progressed in his training and demonstrated qualities that helped him in September of 2006 to become a member of Bravo Company's Anti-Terrorism Battalion of the 4th Marine Expeditionary Brigade of the 2nd Marine Division. At Camp Lejeune, he prepared for his deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. His deployment to Iraq and Anbar province came in April of 2007. Here, this Marine displayed exemplary performance as a Humvee operator and spent countless hours learning about his vehicle and taking personal responsibility for the maintenance of his Humvee. He was described by his fellow Marines as cheerful, easygoing, and someone who took everything in stride. However, his Marines would tell you that he always kept his vehicle mission ready. The Latin phrase for always faithful, semper fidelis, became the Marine Corps motto in 1883. It guides Marines to remain matter what. Semper Fidelis distinguishes the Marine Corps' bonds from any other. It goes beyond teamwork. It is a brotherhood, and it lasts for life. Becoming a Marine is a transformation that cannot be undone, and Semper Fi reminds us of that. Once made a Marine, will forever live by the ethics and values of the Corps. Our young Marine was what he wanted to be. He loved being a Marine. He took pride in defending his country, our freedom, and working toward the defeat of terrorism. Our freedom was his focus on September 10, 2007, when a coward who would not face a Marine detonated an improvised explosive device so that well-maintained Humvee, as it crossed over it, would be destroyed. But our Marine best described Semper Fi. He was always faithful. Tonight, we want to present one of those specially embroidered, honored, and remembered flags to his parents. To the parents of that hero Marine is our way to say to them that we honor and remember Lance Corporal John Thomas Hicks, Jr., United States Marine. John, Kathy.
Let me just say something first. Bless you guys. I'm going to get close to you. I would like to show you that this flag is folded in a triangular configuration. And that's because symbolically, this family was handed a folded American flag that earlier the commander mentioned was to stay folded, reverently encased forever, never to be unfolded again, as a life extinguished. This mirrors that American flag, but it is meant to be unfolded, to be displayed in gratitude for that sacrifice, and in thanks for his service to this country. You may read.
John and Kathy, this honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of your son, Lance Corporal John T. Hicks, Jr. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying the symbol collectively as a unit, we humbly recognize the enormity of their loss and respectfully say, thank you.
On a personal note, when you're doing your traveling across the country, did you take like an inventory of anybody that blows you off for an appointment or anything like that? And then email it to Judy?
Would you help me out? Sure.
Anywhere again.
We can't say too much, that makes it premeditated.
It is my goal that every family in this nation who has ever lost will have a personalized flag, one way or another. And you can imagine the enormity of that task. And it is my hope that communities and veterans organizations and individuals will help to sponsor flags for families within their own communities, because that's really what it's about, reaching out to those that lost. I have so many families on lists waiting to receive flags. there is no way to get to them. They've been waiting for a year and a half, many families. As you can imagine, there's over 5,000 in this conflict alone. So it is a very enormous task. But I only say that because I know that many times, oftentimes, when we make presentations, there's families out there that are going, why can't I have one? And I say, you will. You will, one way or another. It'll be my life's work to be sure that every family is recognized from the past and moving forward. So this one is mine. This one is a gift from me. And this one I probably don't even have to mention, but I'm going to read the certificate and we'll go from there. This Honor and Remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Petty Officer David M. Tapper. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say thank you.